Welcome to Simply Bitcoin, the channel that breaks down all the daily Bitcoin news, meme review, daily fails, software updates, and we're going to kick it off with the numbers. But before we do that, like and subscribe.
Talk to the dashboard.
We're starting with a block height of 655,598, Bitcoin price 15,464, chain rewrite days 645, and the total lightning capacity 1,029.50 BTC.
The price is looking good. And it's time for
the daily fail. It has been rectified. Actually, fellow Bitcoiner, fellow plebe, Joe Rogers, okay, who does Bitcoin Words, who people should check out. He's the one who updated me on the facts, but this has since been resolved. But here we go. I've been using Cash App for years. I bought thousands of dollars worth of Bitcoin on there and have used it as my main way of getting fiat for a while now. Today, they tell me they are taking all the money on it, over $1,000, and that I have no recourse. All right. So guys, this is a lesson, these gatekeepers, it's fantastic that, they allow us to get KYC'd, so that we can buy Bitcoin, thank you so much. But at the end of the day, they're gatekeepers. And this is, you don't want to leave your Bitcoin there. And I'm sure that, Crown BTC, has a hardware wallet and does all the right stuff, but it's just like, we unfortunately can't take chances with these people. And in this particular case, it did get rectified, but I don't think that this will always get rectified. Yeah, necessarily. Yeah, I'd like to think that it would, but it's, with Bitcoin, a lot of stuff is final and then you have no recourse. So
I think that
even though this is a company thing, it's not about Bitcoin.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Phil. And if it wasn't for the giant, outcry that we made on Twitter, and because we have such a strong community, right? I don't think that would have been fixed, to be honest. I think that it's because we have such a strong community, because we made such a big splash, that Cash App decided to address it. But imagine if you didn't have that. Imagine if you didn't know about Bitcoin Twitter. I feel bad for that. I feel bad for anybody in that situation.
Yep. Matt Odell actually in the tweet thread, Matt Odell reached out to him and, sent him a DM. And, Matt is from Tales from the Crypt, right, with Marty Bent. And their sponsor is Cash App. So kind of thinking that probably, hopefully had some pull to, to help this person out. But again, it's, we can't even, it's like we can't even trust them, right? Cash App is supposedly like good, right? Even though they're not really, because, hey, at the end of the day, they're still a gatekeeper. They're an on-ramp, and they can freeze whatever you leave on their platform. You don't have any keys to this.
Absolutely.
Right? Not your keys, not your coin.
Exactly.
We know the drill.
We know the drill. Phil, it's time for
the daily meme review. Yes.
Tweet by Mr. Bitcoin Marcus, a fellow plebe. Let's check it out.
Want to look at a market like that? You could look at Bitcoin this morning because it's not a market. Again, it's up 15,000. 15,000.
10 years, I've been wrong.
Don't write me about Bitcoin, please. I mean, 99.999% of the people that own Bitcoin are fucking morons. Retarded, imbeciles. That's just it. So you found some shit in the street that happened to go up in value. So don't ask me anymore. Go fuck yourselves, please.
Dude. Phil, I don't know about you, man, but for me, that was, if you look up the definition of a perfect a perfect meme in a dictionary, that would be it. So I'm going to give it a perfect 10 from myself.
Very nice. Yep, we're definitely in agreement. I am going to go with the perfect 10. It had all the elements. It had some had some goosebump causing moments. It had the laughing moments. It had it had all kinds of different themes that are relevant, for many different people in many different ways. And that that was definitely good.
I completely agree with everything you said, and the only thing that I would add on top of that is that it was easy to understand. But you took all my points, so we're in agreement. No, exactly. We're in sync today, Phil. We're in sync.
Do you know who that guy is at the end who's dumping on Bitcoin? Because I've seen him before, and I know I probably should know who he is.
He's that old guy that dresses up in a suit, and he acts like he knows better. And there's this other famous video that he's in. I know who you're talking about.
Yes.
And I think that's where he's famous from. I don't know who he is, but he sounds like an idiot. Like, I don't care if he wears a suit.
Really? You found some shit in the street? Like, what do you think your fiat is? They created shit out of thin air.
Exactly.
Really, man? Anyways, I just, some of these people, man, the stupidity denial is real.
Yeah, the nerve on them, man. It's because you know what happened? Bitcoin makes them irrelevant, right? So that's why they get mad. It's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by Crypto Cloaks.
All right.
What do we got?
Okay, so the news for today is brought to us by Reuters.
Yeah, I know. I can never pronounce that right. Also, I've heard it pronounced Reuters.
Reuters. Okay, that sounds.
Because we see an OY in there, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sure. Why not?
I spell things wrong all the time in the thumbnail, so I'm the wrong person to ask.
That was an awesome one, though, by the way.
It ended up working to my favor, so that's good. Yes, I did it on purpose. No, I didn't.
Okay, we're focusing here.
All right, yeah, sorry, guys. Okay, so the Bank of England said to be considering a move into negative interest rates, and guys, look, they give an explanation as to why and COVID and all that BS, but man. COVID, I think, accelerated this process, but you've been seeing this all over the world, right? Where you're seeing banks all over the world push negative interest rates. Phil, in my opinion, I think if you explain negative interest rates to a child, they would literally say that's stealing, right? So, man, what else is there to say, man? It's just another bank, and the next step would be the Fed, which the Bank of England has one of the best reputations in the world, right? It's historic, whatever. So the fact that they're trying to push to this is insane. And for anyone that doesn't know negative interest rates, I'll explain it very quickly. So an interest rate is basically if you have money in a bank, they give you a percentage return on that money. Negative interest rate, that gets flipped on its side. So if you have money in a bank, you actually have to pay the bank to hold your money, right? How absurd does that sound? Exactly. So what are your thoughts on this, Phil?
So they've technically been doing that to the middle and I guess we'd say the lower class for years already. It's just a hidden tax with all the fees and the NSF checks and stuff like that, where they charge you these ridiculous fees. So don't get me wrong. They've been paying everybody dick for years. Okay. So this is just more of the same. And to your point, there are no tricks left. There's no tricks. There's no more rabbits they can pull from their hats. They've got They've got no cards left to play. Like, this is it. So they now have to pretty much sell everybody on the idea that this is perfectly normal and it's all good and it can get better. Good luck. Good luck, man. Good luck. Exactly. It's like it's not getting better. It's like this system has run its course. All fiat currencies throughout history have failed eventually. They all fail eventually. It doesn't matter. And this is the fifth iteration that we have. Well, actually, I mean, it's kind of different because the Bank of England, right? But just to touch one last thing on what you said, they did explain negative interest rates to a kid, and they did call it stealing.
Really?
I'm pretty sure I saw a video where this was explained to a kid, and the kid understood that they were getting screwed.
Dude, that's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Oh,
wow. Okay. So the next piece of news for today, Phil, is this made quite a splash on Twitter. And just a lot, like the first article, I think it was from Bloomberg. They reported they said it horribly. They said that the U.S. government, hacked a wallet. So, just to kind of get some clarification on that, if you read the legalese of the original indictment, no one hacked a Bitcoin wallet for $1 billion, right? It was the individual in a plea deal decided to, hand it over. So I'm going to read some of this article. The court document says that the government knows the identity of individual X. On November 3rd, 2020, individual X signed a consent and agreement to forfeit with the U.S. Attorney's Office, North District of California. In that agreement, individual X consented to the forfeiture of the defendant property to the United States government. 24. I don't know why that 24 is there. That's really weird. On November 3rd, 2020, the United States took custody of the defendant property from. Oh, okay. So they're reading. Okay. So yeah, I mean, other than me butchering that reading, Phil, it's, it's not that crazy. This guy was obviously involved in the original Silk Road. And I think that he did the U.S. government a big favor, because at the time that he actually got a hold of this money, it was worth considerably less than what is worth today. So, and hopefully, this will shave off some time off his plea deal, so he gets less prison time. And for any of the FUD people out there, man, this is not going to dump the price of Bitcoin whatsoever. It has no effect, and it's just more Satoshis completely off the market, right? And what the U.S. government does is they don't just dump Bitcoin on the market. What they do is that they do an auction, and usually a billionaire or someone with a lot of money goes in and gets those sweet Satoshis very cheap. And if it's an OTC transaction, it has no influence over the price of Bitcoin.
There's probably a lot of virgin coins in those coins.
Yep.
I'm just saying, there's some fresh coins, some fresh UTXOs.
So for any of the noobs out there, Phil, what are virgin coins?
So essentially, like they're coins that came like directly from miners. So they haven't been around yet. Not that should matter. If there's anything wrong with that.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
That's what she said. But yeah, I mean, I know that there's going to be some people fudding about this, but it's just a bunch of nothing news, right? So, I mean, it isn't nothing because, man, I kind of feel bad for the dude that had to turn over $1 billion to the U.S. government. That must have been a terrible feeling. But hey, when they have you locked up in a box, like you got to get out of that box, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, it is what it is. And Phil, what are the software releases today, bro?
Software releases. All right, let's take a look. What do we got? Okay, so Join Inbox version 0.1.14 was released. In that, they improved their standalone installation. They improved their compatibility with Arch 64 environments, and they did some UI improvements, and the link will be in the show notes.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Simply Bitcoin. If you guys like the show, you know what to do. If you guys love the show, subscribe. And of course, we'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.